Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen from all parts of the world. Our attendees are on the process of joining the webinar. Hope all of you are safe and healthy from wherever you're attending this webinar. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on MSUB MSM Agent E-Summit 2020 Live. Thank you for taking your time out and being here today. My name is Jim George, and I am the Manager Global Marketing Office overseeing US institutions at MSM. I'm pleased to introduce today's speaker, Neil Beyer. Neil works at the Office of International Studies as International Marketing and Outreach at Montana State University Billings. Before I hand over the mic to Neil, I have a few housekeeping items to cover about this presentation and the Zoom webinar platform. The agenda for today's webinar will be a comprehensive presentation on Montana State University Billings by Neil. We'd love to hear from you. Feel free to drop in all your questions in the Q&A session present in the control panel. They'll either be answered during the webinar, so please feel free to drop in all your questions during the presentation or at the end during the question answer session. In case you're facing any technical issues, please feel free to drop in a message in the chat box. There'll be 2 polling sessions during the webinar, and we encourage your active participation during the polls. For those who have just joined us, welcome to today's webinar on MSUB MSM Agent E-Summit 2020 Live. So without any further ado, let's kickstart things off by welcoming our presenter, Neil Beyer. Neil, over to you.
Thank you so much, Jim. First, I'd like to thank Jim and the entire MSM team for arranging this webinar. Greetings to everyone joining us today. I'd also like to thank all of you for your interest in learning more about MSUB and possibly introducing our university to the many students that you represent. As Jim mentioned, my name is Neil Beyer. I'm the International Marketing and Outreach Manager for Montana State University Billings, also known as MSUB. Let's begin with what is currently on everyone's mind, COVID-19. Thus far, the state of Montana has only 394 confirmed cases, a comparatively small number when compared to the rest of the United States. And I'm pleased to report MSUB has not had a single confirmed case of COVID-19 on our campus. In response to COVID-19, MSUB has taken the following steps. 1, all spring 2020 classes have been moved online. 2, the entire campus is being cleaned and disinfected. 3, residence halls remain open for students who do not have alternative housing options. 4, the university remains completely operational to ensure students receive sufficient support. 5, all summer 2020 admitted students have the option of taking classes online or being deferred to fall 2020. Students who elect to attend classes online are required to attend an online orientation delivered remotely. Additionally, we are waiving final semester transcript requirements and extending the deadline to submit final semester transcripts by 1 semester. Lastly, we are also considering several options to help students with the economic and financial impact of COVID-19, including the arrangement of payment plans for fall semester. This slide shows either existing or new testing policies prior to COVID-19. But the current circumstances have made them more significant. At the undergraduate level, MSUB does not require SAT or ACT for admission. And at the graduate level, the GRE has been waived for all programs with the exception of our Masters of Public Relations program. While proof of English proficiency is still required to be admitted directly into a program, if a student is unable to take the IELTS, he or she can take the Duolingo online English test. The test can be taken anywhere there is a computer with internet connection and a camera. No appointment is necessary, and the cost of the exam is only $49. Our undergraduate Duolingo requirement is $85, and our graduate Duolingo requirement is $100. Next, I will introduce the state of Montana. Montana is the fourth largest state in the United States, located in the northwestern part of the country. Montana is a short flight from Washington, California, and Nevada to the west, and shares a border with Canada to the north. Home to Yellowstone and Glacier National Parks, Montana is world famous for its stunning natural beauty. The state is a playground for those who enjoy outdoor adventure and is one of the safest and most affordable states in the US, with low crime, low pollution, and little to no traffic. The state has over 200 sunny days per year, enjoys one of the lowest levels of pollution in the country, and has 4 distinct seasons. It is also worth mentioning, for those who enjoy shopping, Montana is one of the 5 states in the US that does not have a sales tax, providing visitors and residents of the state with duty-free shopping. Let's now look at the city of Billings, where MSUB is located. Billings is the largest city in the state of Montana and the business, trade, and retail distribution center for Montana and the surrounding region. Before COVID-19, Billings enjoyed a 2% unemployment rate, one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country. The city of Billings is 1,000 kilometers west of Seattle, 730 kilometers south of Calgary, and 200 kilometers north from the world famous Yellowstone National Park. The city is famous for its welcoming, hospitable community and offers one of the lowest cost of living in the United States. If I may briefly share a short story that illustrates the hospitality of the city. We had an international student who had just arrived in Billings, Montana. And as most students do, he went out to venture in the downtown area to explore and get situated with his new surroundings. Afterwards, he came back to my office and he said, "Neil, I'm so astonished. People are saying hello to me. People are smiling to me. Everyone's so friendly and so hospitable. I just don't." He actually thought that possibly our university had introduced that a new cohort of international students were arriving on our campus, and that we reached out to the Billings community, the businesses in the downtown area, to be sure to welcome them and be very friendly and hospitable. I assured him that is not the case, that is just in fact how the Billings community is, that we are an extremely welcoming, friendly community that enjoys each other's company and wants to get to know each other and share our love for our city and state. So that is an example, just one of many, of the friendliness and hospitality that exists in Billings, Montana. Billings is a growing city, and with growth comes opportunity. Forbes magazine named Billings the best place for business and careers. Fortune magazine recognized Billings as the best city to launch a business. And Outside magazine named Billings the best city in the US. Additionally, the city of Billings has been ranked the 8th most secure place to live in the US, one of the most satisfied communities in the country, named to the top 100 best places to live 3 times, and ranked the 5th best mid-sized city to visit in the Northwestern United States. As the cost of living increases in California, Oregon, and Washington, more and more people are moving to Montana to enjoy the high quality of life and low cost of living. It's one of the best times to live in Montana, as there is enormous growth, which brings with it great opportunity for business and careers.
Hi, Neil. Thanks for giving that wonderful story. It was really inspiring. So now it's polls time. Yeah, so let's get into polls. Let's see how attentive were all our attendees. So here's our first question. So Montana is the largest state in US. So can you name, was it 2nd, 4th, 6th, or 8th? All of you can start voting for the same. The second question is, what is the unemployment rate in Billings? So that was clearly mentioned in the slide. So let's see who got it right. So was it mentioned 2%, 10%, 20%, or 25%? The third question is, what is the Duolingo English test requirement for an associate or a bachelor's degree program? So that was also clearly mentioned. So let's see what are the answers that are coming up. People are voting. So let's check and see what are their answers. Yes, we're getting good number of votes. Yeah, we'll just wait for a couple of seconds more so that people vote, and let's see what their answers are. Yes, so I think we've got good number of votes. Let's see the results. So I'm ending the poll. Yes, and I'm just going to share the results. So yes, for the first question, nearly 63% of them told the right answer. It's the fourth largest. It's the fourth largest state in the U.S. And the unemployment rate in Billings, nearly 87% of them told it's 2%. Wonderful. Everyone is very attentive. And regarding Duolingo also, 63% of them told the right one. 85 is the right answer. So I think all of them are very attentive. So let's proceed. Over to you, Neil.
Thank you so much, Jim. Well done, everyone. All right, moving on. There we go. I will now provide an introduction of our university. MSUB was founded in 1927. We are a public comprehensive university, the third largest university in the state of Montana. We currently have over 4,000 students enrolled on campus. MSUB offers students a world-class education. Over 90% of our professors have PhDs in their field, and our professors are in class delivering lectures 100% of the time. There's no reliance on teacher assistants. The student-to-teacher ratio is 18:1, providing students with an intimate learning experience and direct access to their professors. Our students express a high level of satisfaction. Without fail, almost every student interviewed mentions the friendly, welcoming, supportive environment of the university, with many comparing the university community to a family. MSUB offers over 100 degree programs at the associate, bachelor's, and master's levels. We are a public state institution accredited by the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. We are also accredited by several other accrediting bodies, including the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business, the Commission on Accreditation of Athletic Training Education, and the Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs. With a yearly tuition ranging between $9,000 and $20,000 per year, we are one of the most affordable universities in the country, and we reward outstanding students with scholarships ranging between $500 and $10,000 per year. We also strive to make on-campus employment opportunities available to our international students to help them with the high cost of studying in the United States. Admission requirements for MSUB are as follows. At the undergraduate level, we require students to have completed their high school education with a cumulative GPA of 2.5. English proficiency requirements are IELTS 5.5, TOEFL 68, ME-LAB 73, PTE 50, Duolingo 85, ITEP 3.5, and ELS 12. At the graduate level, we require students to have completed their bachelor's degree with a cumulative GPA of 3.0. English proficiency requirements are IELTS 6.5, TOEFL 79, ME-LAB 80, PTE 58, and forgive me, I failed to include Duolingo on the slide, but we do accept Duolingo at the graduate level. Our requirement for Duolingo is 100 at the graduate level. ITEP 3.9 and ELS 12. We only require GRE for our Masters of Public Relations program. The requirement is a minimum score of 3.5 on the writing portion and a strong verbal score. Our admission process is quick and efficient. To apply to MSUB at the undergraduate level, students must submit a completed application, pay the $35 application fee, submit a copy of their passport, a copy of their IELTS or other proof of English proficiency, and copies of their education records. Typically, we accept copies of materials for the application process, but require official documents prior to students enrolling in classes. Due to COVID-19, we're allowing more flexibility with official documents and are extending the deadline for submitting official documents. Once a complete undergraduate application is received, they are processed within 2 to 3 business days, and an admission letter and scholarship letter, if awarded, are sent to the student via email. To create an I-20, we must receive a completed MSUB International Student Financial Form, accompanied by a recent bank statement. Once financials are received, an I-20 will be created within 1 week. To apply to MSUB at the graduate level, students must submit a completed application and pay a $45 application fee with the following supporting materials: a copy of their passport, a copy of their IELTS or other proof of English proficiency, copies of education records, a personal statement, 3 reference letters, and a resume. Complete graduate applications are processed within 1 month, and an I-20 is created a week after receiving financial documents. If a student does not have proof of English proficiency or does not meet our English requirements, the student will be admitted to MSUB conditionally through our Intensive English Language Program, or IELP. Upon arrival on our campus, the student will be given an English placement exam. If the student passes the exam, they can immediately begin their degree studies. If, however, the student does not pass the English exam, they will need to participate in our on-campus Intensive English Language Program. The program is taught on the university campus with small class sizes, offered year-round, and is designed for students of all levels. The program focuses on academic English speaking, writing, and reading, combined with low-level academic subject courses and or electives, exposing students to the university community. As mentioned, MSUB has over 100 programs at the associate, bachelor's, and master's levels. Here's a sample of some of our programs. In our AACSB accredited College of Business, we offer bachelor's degrees in accounting, finance, management, and marketing. While I'm certain most of you, if not all of you, are familiar with AACSB, in case some of you are not, I will briefly describe AACSB accreditation. AACSB, or the Association of Advanced Collegiate Schools of Business, is the largest business education and network connecting students, academia, and business to advanced business education worldwide. It is known worldwide as the longest standing, most recognized form of professional accreditation an institution and its business programs can earn. Fewer than 5% of the world's business schools have earned this distinction of quality. It is something we are very proud of. In our College of Health, Professions, and Science, we offer bachelor's degrees in health and human performance, human services, and outdoor adventure leadership, and a master's of science in athletic training. In our College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, we offer bachelor's in biology, chemistry, mathematics, communication, and environmental studies, and both bachelor's and master's programs in psychology and public relations. Lastly, MSUB offers many 2-year associate degree programs, including general studies, business administration, computer desktop network support, computer programming, and application development, computer systems technology, cybersecurity networking, and human resources. It's worth noting, students can save a substantial amount of money by completing a 2-year associate degree in either general studies or business before completing an additional 2 years of study to earn their bachelor's degree. I will speak more about this option later in the presentation. We will now meet some of MSUB's international students: Manal, Jenna, Mohammed, Amir, Jingsi, and Mambi. They will talk a bit about their MSUB experience. I'm also pleased to announce that one of the students in the video, Jenna, is joining us on this webinar and will speak briefly at the end of my presentation to elaborate further about her experience at MSUB.
My name is Manal Kaur and I am from Lahore, Pakistan.
My name is Jenna Gupta and I am from Delhi, India.
My name is Mohammed Al-Mubayyid. I'm from Saudi Arabia.
My name is Amir and I'm from Iran.
My name is Jingsi and I'm from China.
My name is Mambi Kulibali and I'm from Mali, West Africa.
I like having small colleges, small classrooms, and like a smaller community, because then you can progress more in your academics more.
Like, since I came, I have been here for 1.5 years now. No one said no to me till now. They keep saying yes whatever you ask them to, so they're really nice.
I love it. Thumbs up. I just love it here. The people, the entire management, the instructor, the students, everybody is so good, and they just make you feel like you're a part of this already.
I think if anything that MSUB has actually exceeded my expectations, like whether it's education or whether it's the living standards, it's very good. And people around here have been very helpful.
I feel like the time here might be one of the best time in my life.
It's a family. It's very easy to make friends here. And when you meet friends here, like they help you a lot.
The community is a really friendly community. It's not a big city, so you just walk around, you see people just greeting each other, helping each other out.
What we're getting here is not just education, it's a lifestyle. We're knowing like how to live our life in a better way. And it's actually one of the best experiences that I have ever been through.
Whenever I tell people that, okay, I'm from Pakistan and this is my first time traveling alone and I've never had this experience before, everybody is just ready to help me. They're giving me their cards or their numbers, like if you ever need help with the groceries or anything, you want to go somewhere, just give us a call and we can take you there.
No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, they embrace you as a family.
MSUB 10 out of 10.
I'll now briefly speak about some of the many student organizations that exist on campus. There are two I wish to highlight as they are specific to our international students. The first is the Billings Friendship Families Program, or the BFF. The BFF is a program designed to provide additional community support to our international students. International students that wish to participate are matched with a local family. That family picks the student up from the airport when they arrive in Billings, invites the student for a meal either at their home or a local restaurant, takes the student shopping for essentials, and maintains contact with the student during their time at MSUB, inviting them to holiday celebrations and weekend excursions. I have a couple more stories at this moment, if you don't mind me sharing. One was one of our Korean students. Her name is Sujin. And Sujin one day ran into my office so excited. She's like, Neil, I'm so excited. My mom and dad are taking me to Yellowstone National Park this weekend. And I said, no way, that's incredible. Your mom and dad are coming from Korea to Billings, Montana to take you to Yellowstone National Park? She's like, no, not my mom and dad in Korea, my Billings mom and dad. And she had become so close to her Billings friendship family that she in fact began to refer to her Billings parents as mom and dad. Now, I don't know how much her real mom and dad would appreciate this, but it goes to show how great this program is at uniting our international students with a local family to give that additional support from a community level. An additional story, similar, that is actually about one of our previous Indian students, Yash. Yash was also studying at MSUB. He participated in the BFF program. Yash graduated, he returned to India, and he got married shortly after returning to India. And he invited his BFF family to come to India to join them for the ceremonies of the wedding. And without question, the BFF family here in Billings, Montana, hopped on a plane and flew to India to celebrate the union of Yash and his wife together in India. So these are two examples of the BFF program and how successful it's been in providing additional support to our international students. And it's twofold. It offers our international students another opportunity to experience and have exposure to Billings and Montana culture and American culture, but also provides our community, the Billings community, an opportunity to learn more about international culture. So it's a great tool that we use within the community, within the university, that we're very proud of, and it's very successful. The second is the Multicultural Club, or MCC. The MCC is a student organization created to celebrate culture and diversity through various events and activities. Through fundraising efforts, the club is able to organize fun activities for club members for little to no expense to the students. Previous activities include bowling, skiing, horseback riding, and ice skating. Other student organizations on campus are listed here, including STEM Club, Math Club, Investment Club, honors club, accounting club, and the soccer club, to name a few. The list definitely goes on. The campus of MSUB has everything a student needs to thrive both in and out of the classroom. The university has 2 student housing buildings offering single and double rooms. Each floor of student housing has access to balconies with stunning views of the city. The university has several food options on campus. Rimrock Cafe is the largest dining hall on campus and is where students can eat using their meal plans. Stinger's Cafe serves Starbucks coffee, sandwiches, and other foods. Both Rimrock Cafe and Stinger's have vegetarian and halal options. The Student Union Building is the center of student activity with a game room, the Diversity Center, a small gym, the Academic Support Center, meeting rooms, and student support offices like housing and the Student Engagement Center. The library is a short walk from the Student Union Building and provides students with access to endless resources to conduct research and study. The gymnasium is just across the street from student housing and gives students access to professional quality handball courts, basketball courts, a weight room, a climbing wall, a swimming pool, and much more. The rims tower above the university, offering students a natural landscape to escape to for meditation, running, hiking, or relaxing. Now, let's look at the tuition cost at MSUB. As noted, tuition at MSUB ranges from $9,000 to $20,000 per year, depending on the degree being sought. The tuition cost for an associate degree is $9,010 per year. A bachelor's degree is $19,550 per year, and a master's degree is $17,450 per year. I think you'll agree that MSUB tuition is very competitive for a U.S. public institution of higher education. And for students with a GPA of 2.75 or greater, the tuition cost is even lower, thanks to MSUB's Explore Montana Scholarship Awards. Currently, Explore Montana scholarships are only available to associate and bachelor students. However, they should be available to master's students in the near future. As you can see, the table indicates the GPA range, MSUB's annual tuition rate, the award amount, and the tuition rate after award deduction. At the associate level, students are eligible to receive a scholarship award ranging between $500 and $2,500 per year. A student with a GPA of 3.75 or higher will only need to pay a yearly tuition of $6,510 at the associate level. At the bachelor's level, the awards are even more generous, ranging between $2,000 and $10,000 per year. A student with a GPA of 3.75 or higher will only need to pay a yearly tuition of $9,550 at the bachelor's level. To qualify for an Explore Montana Scholarship Award, students must submit a complete application for admission. In addition to the Explore Montana scholarships, MSUB offers 2 additional scholarships exclusively to international students. The first is the Yellowstone Scholarship, awarded to MSUB international students on a per semester basis. To be considered for the Yellowstone Scholarship, students must submit a scholarship application to the Office of International Studies, be an enrolled degree-seeking student who has successfully completed at least 1 semester at MSUB, and have at least a GPA of 2.5 as an undergraduate student, or a 3.0 as a graduate student. The second is the Global Leadership Scholarship. The Global Leadership Scholarship is awarded to 2 MSUB international students per year who promote the internationalization of MSUB on campus and in the community. To be considered for the Global Leadership Scholarship, students must complete the general MSUB scholarship form, be an enrolled degree-seeking student who has successfully completed at least 1 semester at MSUB, and have a minimum GPA of 3.0. Let's look at total estimated yearly cost now. At the associate level, the estimated total cost for 1 year of study, including tuition and fees, books and supplies, room and board, and health insurance, is $18,430. Now, let's suppose the student has a GPA of 3.75 or above. That $18,430 now becomes $15,930. Now let's include the Yellowstone Scholarship. That $15,930 now becomes $14,930. And finally, with the Global Leadership Scholarship, the student is paying a total yearly cost of $13,430 per year. Similarly, let's look at the total estimated yearly cost at the bachelor's degree level. As you can see, all costs are the same apart from tuition and fees, coming to a total estimated yearly cost of $28,790. Now let's again assume the student has a GPA of 3.75 or above. That $28,790 now becomes $18,970. And once again, let's include the Yellowstone Scholarship. That $18,970 now becomes $17,970. And finally, with the Global Leadership Award, the total yearly cost to study at MSUB is now $16,740. That's, in my opinion, incredible. At MSUB, an outstanding international student has the potential to earn their bachelor's degree for a total yearly cost of only $16,740 per year. Remember when I mentioned students will save money if they earn their associate degree before the bachelor's? Some of you may have noticed that our associate degree has a lower cost than our bachelor's degrees. Therefore, students can do something similar to a 2+2 program, completing their associate degree in 2 years at $9,010 per year, then completing an additional 2 years of study at the bachelor's level for $19,550 per year. Of course, if they receive a scholarship, the yearly tuition cost will be even lower. This path also allows students the option of doing at least 2 years of optional practical training, or OPT, possibly more if the student is studying a STEM field. This is what I affectionately refer to as a 2+1+2+1 program. 2 years of study to earn an associate degree, 1 year of OPT, 2 more years of study to earn a bachelor's degree, and 1 more year of OPT. I assume most, if not all of you, are familiar with the OPT program offered by the US Department of State. If you are not, feel free to ask me and I will elaborate more about this program at the end of my presentation. Of course, should the student desire, they can return to school to earn their master's degree, and upon completion of their master's degree, do an additional year of OPT, 2+1+2+1+2+1.
Yes, so we're back into the polling times. So let's go with the first question. Yes, the questions have come on top, yes. So to ensure that this webinar has been in par with our quality standards, please let us know how the audio and video qualities are faring. Are you able to hear and see us properly? Rate us if they are excellent, very good, good, or poor. Coming to the second question, it's about what are the GPA requirements to get admitted for an undergraduate program? And the third one, what are the annual tuition fees for master's program in MSUB? Yes, so we started getting a lot of answers. We'll just wait for a few more people. We would request all of them to participate actively for these polls, just to have a little interaction between the attendees and us. Yes, so we're getting a few answers. That's cool. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll. We've received good number of answers. So let's see how the polls are faring. So thank you. 49% of them have given an excellent rating for the audio and video quality, and 37% of them have given a very good rating. So the results are being shared. So that's nice. And those of you who are not able to hear, we'll try to improvise and make it better in the coming days. Yeah, and of course, the second question, nearly 66% of them have answered the right answer, the 2.5 requirement for an undergraduate program, the GPA requirement. And the third question also, we've got a 63% correct answer of $17,450 for the master's program. So excellent. Thanks for all of your participation. Over to you, Neil.
Thank you so much, Jim. There we go. And with that, actually, I end my presentation of MSUB. At this time, I'd like to allow MSUB student Jenna Gupta an opportunity to talk more about her experience at MSUB. And afterwards, I'm happy to answer any questions. Gena, please, if you don't mind.
Hi everyone, I'm Gehna and I've completed a year of studying at MSU B. I'm from Delhi, India, and I'll just like to say, just expanding on what Neil said, my most favorite thing that I love about MSUB is its community. People are so helpful over here, and the BFF family that he mentioned, mine was especially very, very helpful. Like the lady that I got, she would take me out for groceries, she'll take me to the doctor if I was sick, and she'll just invite me to have dinner or lunches over her place. And I think it was amazing to be part of such a community. Everybody is really, really helpful. And another thing that I absolutely love about the college is the small student to teacher ratio. Like all of the professors, like in most of my classes, the maximum there ever been is like 25 to 30, and most of the classes actually have like 10 to 15 students, which I feel allows us to learn on a very good level. And there are no teacher assistants, which I also appreciate. And I think all the professors are very, very helpful. They help you out. You go to them, you ask like, I cannot do it at this deadline, I need an extension because I'm having problem with this. They'll call you in their office hours, they'll sit with you for 2 hours on an end, they'll teach you what you can't understand, and they'll help you out very much.
Thank you, Gena.
Thank you, Gena. We're ready for a few. Can I take it?
Yeah, absolutely. And Gena, if you don't mind, if the audience has any questions for you, if you could answer them from a student's perspective, that'd be great. Thank you so much.
Sure. So thank you, Gena. We're ready for a few questions. So would request all the attendees, if you've got any questions in the Q&A session, which is there below in the control panel. So you can join our discussion. So let's see, we've got a few questions. The first question, Neil, is how many classes are there? Means in a week, how many classes does a student have to attend?
So as an international student, international students in the US to maintain legal immigration status are required to take at the undergraduate level a minimum of 12 credits, which is 12 hours per week. At the graduate level, that is 9 credits. Now, if a student desires, they are able to increase their hour load, their credits per week, should they choose to. Many of our international students actually choose to do this for several reasons. One, it lowers costs. At MSUB, once you reach 12 credits, any credits that surpass 12 credits, there's no additional cost for. So in other words, if a student takes 12 credits one semester, it is the same cost as if that student were to take 18 credits that semester. A second reason is also because it shortens their length of study potentially. If a student takes more credits one semester and then also possibly participates in summer intake, summer enrollment, then the student has the potential of completing their bachelor's degree or master's degree in a shorter amount of time.
Thank you. Yeah, so the second question is, they want to know more about the Duolingo test. What is the fees and how is it happening? So if you could just give a small briefing on that.
Yeah, so the Duolingo is something that is growing in popularity, specifically because of COVID-19. But it is a completely online English proficiency test. You can take it, students can take it anywhere there's a computer, a camera, and internet connection. There's no appointment necessary. Students can hop online right now, go to the Duolingo English test website and pay the $49 testing fee and complete the test. There is a test, an example test or a pre-test that allows them to prepare themselves for the actual test. We have found it very useful and very accurate, particularly during these times when many IELTS testing locations have closed. I think that TOEFL has or is going to move online testing options to make them available. However, we have found that Duolingo currently is the #1 gold standard for online English proficiency testing. I encourage all of you, if you're not familiar with Duolingo, to go on the Duolingo English test website and explore more about the exam.
Thank you. Just to back up, there's another question also on that. Is Duolingo accepted by the US immigration, is one of our attendees are having a doubt.
I'm not sure what they mean by that, but as far as whether or not, I think they're asking whether or not from a visa perspective, whether it is recognized. And the US government gives the universities full decision-making power in terms of how we want to identify a student's English proficiency skills. So as long as the university, the institution has established that the student meets English proficiency requirements, it is not an issue with the US Department of State or with the immigration officer.
And also, just to add on, for the visa interview, usually they don't ask for the English test unless and until they see that in case if you're not able to speak properly or communicate properly with them, then they may ask for sure.
And to add to that, MSUB is not unique in allowing or recognizing Duolingo. Duolingo is now recognized by hundreds of US institutions across the country, as well as institutions in Canada and in the UK. So it is something that is growing in popularity due to the ease and convenience that students can take it. For me, it's the future of English proficiency testing. Duolingo is the pioneer in this area. And I think you'll see with COVID-19, TOEFL is now offering or moving in that direction. And I assume that after COVID-19 passes, that TOEFL will continue to offer online testing to compete with Duolingo, who, as I mentioned, is the pioneer in this arena.
Sure. Thank you for that insight on Duolingo. Yeah, so our Nigerian attendee is asking that is the English test language requirement needed from countries like, especially English-speaking countries like Nigeria, where their instruction the medium of instruction is English?
Unfortunately, at this time, it is. It is something that I am advocating for our university to consider. Maybe not English proficiency waivers, but another medium or another way to identify or to assure that the student is capable of participating successfully at a US university. Obviously, our main concern is that students are able to be successful at MSUB. We don't want instances to happen where we just assume a student's English proficiency is there and they come here and unfortunately they struggle or they're not successful academically. So that's our main concern. And if we're able to identify another way of establishing this, we will. As mentioned in the PowerPoint presentation, we do have intensive English language program and conditional admission, which for these purposes might be another way of entry into MSUB. If there is a student from a country where the education is delivered in English and they do not have the IELTS or TOEFL and don't want to take the Duolingo, then they can apply conditionally. And once they arrive, as I mentioned in the slide, we will be giving them an English proficiency exam here on site. And if they pass, no problem, they can continue on to their degree studies. If they don't, they'll have to participate in our IELP program.
Sure. So as you had mentioned in the presentation, one of the attendees asked if you could just elaborate about OPT, optional practical training, a little more.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something I found that isn't as well known in India as I think it should be, particularly because so many Indian students are interested in employment, not only to help to supplement the cost of education, but I think more importantly to gain experience and potentially to find an employment sponsor that will help them remain in the United States after their studies. So OPT is optional practical training. And what it allows international students to do, it allows them to stay in the United States for 1 to 3 years, depending on their degree field, after each degree that they've earned. So for example, as I mentioned, if a student decides to study an associate degree before a bachelor's degree, after that student has received their associate degree, for 1 year or more, they can just work without needing to focus on their studies. After that 1 to 3 years of employment in the United States through OPT, they can then, if they choose, continue their education in the United States, in this case, their bachelor's degree. After the associate degree, they've already done 2 years of undergraduate studies. So they would only need an additional 2 years to earn their bachelor's degree. And after these 2 years, bachelor's degree, upon receiving their bachelor's degree, they can do an additional 1 to 3 years of employment in the United States through the OPT program. Then if they desire, after that 1 to 3 years, they can return to their studies and earn their master's degree, an additional 2 years of study. After completion of their master's degree, they can again work through OPT in the United States for 1 to 3 years, depending on their field of study. And then, should they desire, after that session of OPT, they want to continue their studies and pursue their PhD, they can do so. And then after the PhD, they can do additional 1 to 3 years of OPT. So what this allows, one, is it extends their time of study and living in the United States as a student, but two, it gives them crucial experience in their work field. I should mention in OPT, one of the requirements is their employment must be related to their field of study. So if they are studying, let's say, psychology, they would not be able to serve at a restaurant. So that is one of the requirements of OPT, is that their employment is specifically related to their field of study. I'd also like to stress that while we assist our students as much as possible, our career services offices, with finding employment, and we open doors for them, at the end of the day, it is the student's responsibility to find employment. But another thing I want to add to this is what it does, it offers the student the opportunity to form those relationships with employers. If they're able to find employment through OPT with an employer who really appreciates their work, is feels that they are good employees, then that employee has the possibility and opportunity to sponsor their work visa. And there's also, I should mention while we're on the subject, CPT, which is curricular practical experience. CPT is similar, however, CPT allows international students to work off campus while they're studying. As many of you know, typically US students, international students studying in the US, they're only allowed to work on campus. But CPT allows them the opportunity to work off campus, again, as long as their employment is related to their field of study. So CPT allows them to work off campus while they're studying. I should also mention CPT has a maximum of 20 hours per week. And OPT allows them to work off campus in between their degrees. I hope that answers your question. And of course, if you hop online, if you hop on Google and do a little research about OPT and CPT, you'll find more information on the US Department of State website, on ICE, on other resources. They'll go into greater detail than I did.
Yeah, thank you for giving the detailed explanation on OPT and CPT. Yeah. We've got another question where it's been asked that what are the master programs that are available? So if you could just give a little more briefing on the program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a bachelor's degree in psychology, a master's degree in psychology, a master's degree in athletic training, a master's degree in education, a master's degree in public relations, a master's degree in health administration, and I believe that is it. Unfortunately, our master's degrees are limited. We do have a very strong public relations program. Public relations is actually a field that I worked in for several years, so I'm highly knowledgeable about it. And for students who are interested in an MBA, an MSPR degree is very similar in many respects. Public relations is training to be able to mold or develop the brand awareness that people have of a business, a product, an individual. So it's very much business related. It's very much media related. It's controlling the perception that people have of a company, of a product, of a individual, a CEO, for example. And we have a very strong program.
Sure. Thank you so much. We've got another interesting question. It is, what is the average visa success rate who are accepted from India for an undergraduate program?
You know, unfortunately, we do not collect the data for our visa success rates. It's something that we should probably start doing, considering the times that we are in. However, I will say that I find that talking to my colleagues in other larger states, that because there is a desire to increase diversity in places such as Montana, that I believe during these times, we see a greater visa success rate than our counterparts in larger cities where there are already a very large number of international students in those states. And California, for example, I talked to my colleagues there and they have seen larger denial rates than we have. One thing that I'd like to stress is our team in MSM helps to prepare students for the interview. I'm also available, as well as my colleagues, to help our international students prepare for the interview. And I think that's key, is preparation and understanding why they want to come to the US, what their purpose is, and to be able to demonstrate that they have ties to India that will bring them back to India upon completion of their degree studies. I think we'll all agree that this current administration has been more difficult to deal with in visas than previous administrations. So we will see what we have in store for the future. We do have an election coming up in the very near future. So hopefully changes will take place that benefit our international students coming from abroad. But as I mentioned, I think one of the things that we're very good at MSUB is supporting our international students, both those who have already received their visa and those who have not. I am always accessible to our admitted students through WhatsApp, as well as our agents. If they have a question, if they want to have a chat with me to help prepare them for the visa interview, I'm happy to do so. We understand that is a stressful, very anxiety thing to do. So we want to help prepare them as much as possible. And I have found that the students that we do assist with preparation are more successful with their visa approval rate.
Thank you. So there's another question that's asking about the educational gap. So how much educational gap does MSUB actually accept? Can you just give a small briefing on that?
Yeah, so typically, as in the US, we treat our international students the same. And in the US, there's no rule or policy that prevents someone with an education gap to return to studies to pursue additional education. So it's not really something that will prevent an international student from being admitted to MSUB. I think the bigger question, unfortunately, will come from immigration is what happened to this gap and why are you now looking to continue your education abroad? So I think that's more where the concern comes from, not so much from being admitted to MSUB or other US institutions, but how will that affect their visa acceptance rate? And to be honest, again, it all comes down to preparation with the visa. I think as long as they have a valid reason for why they have this gap in their education, what they've been doing during that time, and particularly if they're involved in a field or job that was related to their field of study that they want to continue to pursue their education in, then it shouldn't be much of an issue. But from an institutional standpoint, the gap really has no impact on whether or not they'll be admitted, both at the undergraduate and graduate level, just as it is here in the United States. In the US, we want to encourage our population to be educated, and therefore we don't put any stipulations on gaps between education.
Yeah, and we've got another question on the housing options. Could you just give a little more briefing on the housing options for international students?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have two housing buildings. We have Rimrock Hall and Petro Hall. Both halls have options for 1 or 2 bedrooms. Rimrock Hall tends to be our more senior hall. It tends to be our older students who, more mature, tend to be more focused on their studies than some of our younger students who are still relatively young and are enjoying themselves somewhat. And it's a beautiful facilities. Actually, we just had several of our rooms and floors remodeled. We have kitchens on each floor to allow students, shared kitchens, should students desire to cook their own food. The cost for 1 year of living in a double room is $7,500. And that includes the cost of the meal plan. Students living in the dorm are required to participate in the meal plan. And also I should mention students who, and for 1 year, and also, excuse me, let's go back for a moment. So freshman students are required to live in housing for 1 year. And all students who are living in student housing are required to participate in the meal plan. Now, when talking about scholarships, students who receive a scholarship, that requirement for freshman students only, that requirement increases to 2 years that they're required to live in housing. So there are some stipulations, but the reason we require this, particularly of our younger students, is because of the resources available on the university. We want to ensure they take full advantage of our academic resources, our health services, our career services, and also that we have access to them should there be an emergency, should we want to do a well check on them, maybe for some reason they're not going to class. So it's very important to us to ensure that our international students are well taken care of and taking advantage of the services on campus. Graduate students aren't required on campus. They're welcome to live off campus. Undergraduate students, after their first year of study, if they're not receiving a scholarship, are welcome to live off campus. And while I think our student housing costs are very, very competitive when you look at other costs of living in the United States, I'll also say that the cost of living or rent of an apartment or house off campus is very, very competitive. When I first came to Montana from where I was previously, I lived in a large 2-bedroom apartment, and it only cost me $650 per month. If you look at a similar apartment in California, for example, you're looking at approximately $2,000 plus per month for the same type of accommodations that I'm getting here in Montana, or that I was getting when I was renting an apartment. I should also mention that the university owns several homes around the campus. I think it's approximately 100 homes, large family homes. And these homes are also available for rent to our international students at an extremely competitive rate. There's 3 4-bedroom homes for rent that our students live in, and many of our students pay $150 to $200 a month to live or rent a room in one of these homes. They're beautiful homes in the community. Billings, Montana, our university is located in one of the premier neighborhoods in Billings, Montana. So it's a very, very nice neighborhood.
Yeah. So looks like we have answered most of the questions. In case if there are anything that are pending, we'll get back to you and answer it individually back. Yeah. So Neil, is there anything else that you would like to mention?
No, I would just like to thank you all again for your time, for your interest in MSUB. I'm delighted to speak more with you. Should you have additional questions, you can connect with me through MSM. I'd also like to thank Jenna for joining us today. I'm very grateful for her to take time out of her schedule to come here and talk about her experience at MSUB. And of course, I'd like to thank you, Jim, and the entire MSM team for coordinating this and making this happen. As the MSM team knows, that India is very close to my heart. I've traveled there extensively. I've spent 3 months there. I go there regularly to spend time there for work. It is a culture and history and people that I respect greatly and admire. And I look forward to welcoming more Indian students to the MSUB campus. It looks like we might have lost Jim. It looks like he might be frozen. So again, I just want to thank you all for your time, for your interest in the MSUB. Again, should you have questions and want to learn more about MSUB, you can contact MSM. We have a full-time representative there who can answer your questions, or I'm also happy to communicate with you as well. So with that, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your evenings, enjoy your supper, and we'll see you soon.